When the first piece of ice hit the windshield and everyone on Interstate 95 slammed on their brakes, ambulance nurse Rachel Smith was transporting a heart attack patient to the hospital. When the road iced over and the chain reaction crash began, Rachel shouted to ambulance driver Mike, "Be careful!" But it was too late. The ambulance also skidded off to the side of the road and crashed into two cars. Mike was unconscious, having hit his head. Rachel was injured, but standing. Outside, there were screams and sounds of metal. At least 6 vehicles were involved in the crash. Rachel immediately got out of the ambulance and was shocked by what she saw. She immediately grabbed her medical bag, because those ice sounds and crash sounds were not foreign to her. And in the next 45 minutes, everyone on the icy road would learn who Rachel Smith really was. Because some people wear ambulance nurse uniforms, but never remain helpless. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before we dive into this powerful story, tell us in the comments what city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button because 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed yet. Rachel Smith was 33 years old, a perfect ambulance nurse who had been working at Denver Emergency Medical Services for 3 years. She completed every shift flawlessly with her partner Mike Davis, and patients found confidence in her calm approach. But Rachel was different. Her equipment checks had military precision, and her analyses in winter conditions were much more thorough. She never hesitated during cold weather ambulance calls. "Why are you so comfortable in winter conditions?" they would ask. "Experience," Rachel would say. Her colleagues would be surprised. "We're ambulance crew, Rachel, not winter operations specialists." Rachel would smile and not elaborate, because that experience came from very different places. In Rachel's ambulance, alongside standard EMS supplies, there were more sophisticated equipment: cold weather medical kits, extreme condition materials, winter survival tools that most ambulance nurses wouldn't recognize. "I like to be prepared," she would say if anyone asked. Rachel Smith had joined the Army at age 22. Being selected for the 10th Mountain Division wasn't easy. Only 8% could pass this training. At Mountain Warfare School, Rachel had pushed her physical and mental limits, but every day she thought of that snowstorm. She started as Combat Medic 68W, then completed Cold Weather Operations Specialist training. Alpine Rescue, Extreme Weather Medicine, Mountain Warfare all became Rachel's specialties. For 8 years, she had served in mountainous regions of Alaska and Afghanistan and managed 134 successful rescue operations. In each one, she heard her family's voice. Don't leave anyone in the cold. Her biggest operation had been in the Hindu Kush, a NATO base buried under an avalanche, 45 soldiers and civilian personnel trapped under snow. Under enemy fire during a 14-hour operation, Rachel never stopped. When she evacuated the last person, her hands were frozen, but she was smiling. In 2019, memories of that operation began to overwhelm her. Nightmares, cold weather panic attacks, constantly being in alarm mode. After a PTSD diagnosis, she was discharged and became an ambulance nurse. Same mission, different environment, but it had never been easy. Rachel's Mountain Division training wasn't just basic. After Mountain Warfare School at Fort Drum, she completed the Cold Weather Leader course, the most elite program in extreme environment medicine. "A mountain medic must be versatile," said Instructor Staff Sergeant Colorado. "Combat medic, alpine rescuer, cold weather specialist. You are a life-saving expert." The toughest part of her training was winter survival scenarios. Mock operations in frozen mountains, rescue simulations under snow, maximum effect with minimal equipment. Rachel was the best in her class in these areas. Cold weather training was especially challenging: hypothermia treatment, frostbite management, avalanche rescue. Instead of, can you prevent freezing? The question was, how do you save lives in freezing conditions? Snow rescue, improvised heating systems, limited resource operations. Her most critical skill, multi-person hypothermia treatment and systematic warming. In live winter exercises, they performed injured rescue in real blizzards. Throughout the 24-month training, Rachel never gave up. On graduation day, her family was there, and she carried a photo of that snowstorm. This training would prove useful on the icy road. Rachel was on her normal shift. Mr. Peterson's routine transport had been completed. The elderly man had been discharged. Paperwork was done. They were returning to the hospital. Rachel was organizing Mr. Peterson's medical forms in the ambulance. Routine discharge, successful transport, normal Wednesday afternoon. But weather reports were worrying. "Nurse Rachel, thank you for taking such good care of me today," said Mr. Peterson gratefully. "You're welcome, Mr. Peterson. You're recovering wonderfully," said Rachel with professional warmth. But Rachel had noticed unusual changes in weather conditions, temperature dropping rapidly, humidity increasing, icing risk rising. At 3:30 p.m., a weather warning came. Sudden icing warning. Interstate 95, all vehicles drive carefully. Road conditions deteriorating rapidly. The tension increased in the ambulance. Mike shifted to lower gear. Careful driving mode. "Rachel, this looks bad. Icing very fast," said Mike anxiously. "Copy," said Rachel, but she was doing internal assessment, weather condition analysis, risk evaluation, winter survival planning. Radio chatter continued. Multiple accidents reported. Visibility decreasing due to icing. All units be careful. Rachel was making different plans. Winter rescue scenarios were coming alive in her mind. At 3:47 p.m. on Interstate 95, everything changed. The first piece of ice hit the ambulance windshield. "Be careful, Mike," Rachel shouted. Too late. When the cars ahead braked, a chain reaction crash began. Mike hit the brakes, but the ambulance skidded on ice. The ambulance swerved to the side road, hit a sedan, then a pickup. Sound of metal crashing, sound of glass breaking, then silence. Mike was unconscious at the wheel, blood coming from his head. Rachel was injured, but standing. Her right shoulder hurt, but she could use it. There were screams outside. "Help, I'm trapped! My child can't breathe! Is anyone there?" Rachel immediately got out of the ambulance. She was shocked by what she saw. 6 vehicles tangled together, wreckage mixed with snow and ice. People trapped in their cars, shivering in the cold air. At least 12 people appeared injured. Rachel immediately grabbed her medical bag. 8 years of Mountain Division training was kicking in. When Rachel looked at the scene, military triage training kicked in. Who is most critical? Who can wait? In what order to intervene? Systematic movement on icy road. Stability technique learned from mountain warfare. "Hey, I'm an ambulance nurse. I'll check everyone," she called out. First car, sedan, driver conscious but leg trapped. Critical but no life threat. Second car, SUV, mother and 2 children. Children crying, mother in shock. Hypothermia risk beginning. Third car, pickup truck, elderly couple trapped. Man chest pain, woman unconscious. "Most critical situations first," Rachel murmured. "Mountain medic priority system. The elderly couple was most critical. Children in SUV second. Sedan driver can wait." As Rachel approached the pickup, she took careful steps due to the icy ground. She used the icy surface movement techniques learned from mountain warfare training. The vehicle had rolled on its side, doors jammed, windows cracked but not broken. The engine block was pinning the elderly couple's legs. "Sir, ma'am, can you hear me? I'm Rachel, an ambulance nurse." The elderly man answered with difficulty breathing. My wife is sleeping, and I have chest pain. So cold." Rachel quickly assessed the situation. Man in his 70s, possible cardiac event, lips starting to turn blue. Woman unconscious, hematoma on head, both under hypothermia risk. "Sir, stay calm. I'll get both of you out. First I'll warm you up," said Rachel. The pickup's door was completely jammed, hinges frozen with ice, but Rachel had special equipment in her bag. Multi-tool left over from mountain rescue kit and emergency heat packs. She analyzed the door hinge, identifying metal fatigue points. In cold weather, metal brittleness increases. She determined leverage points. She found the weakest point of the door hinge with the multi-tool. By applying controlled pressure, she first created small cracks, then full opening. After 8 minutes of careful work, the door opened. She immediately applied neck stabilization to the elderly woman, cervical spine protection. She connected a portable cardiac monitor to the male patient. She brought all emergency blankets from the ambulance. "Hypothermia prevention absolute priority," she said to herself. She activated emergency heat packs to protect the couple's body temperature. As Rachel ran to the SUV, she used tactical movement pattern on the icy ground. Using the controlled slide technique learned in mountain division training, she approached safely without losing speed. The SUV was on its side, engine noise still continuing inside. Potential carbon monoxide risk. Inside, a young mother and 2 children aged 6 to 8 were visible. "Ma'am, can you hear me? I'm Rachel. I came to rescue you." The mother was in shock, adrenaline shaking. "My children. Are my children hurt?" "Emma says she can't breathe." Rachel quickly did window assessment. Driver's side accessible, passenger side blocked. She needed to evaluate the children one by one. First child, Emma, 8 years old. Conscious, scared, minor abrasions but respiratory distress signs. Possible anxiety-induced hyperventilation. Second child, Tommy, 6 years old. Conscious, crying, left arm, protective posturing. Possible fracture, but no major trauma. Mother, Mrs. Davis, shock state. Minor head contusion, but stable vitals. "Ma'am, your children are safe from serious injury, but there's hypothermia risk. We need to provide warmth immediately." The SUV's heating system had been damaged in the crash. Electrical systems down. Rachel's emergency protocols kicked in. Emergency heat packs immediate activation. She taught Emma breathing technique. "With me, slow in, slow out. You're safe now." Mountain survival training. Body heat conservation techniques. She brought mother and children to group position, shared warmth principle. "Ma'am, hold the children in tight embrace. Body heat sharing most effective warming method." She connected the portable heater from the ambulance to the SUV with extension cable. Set up improvised heating system. "Will this work?" asked the mother, still shivering. "We heated the tent like this at -40 degrees in Hindu Kush," said Rachel with professional assurance. "Your children will warm up in 10 minutes. Rachel gave special attention to Emma, child psychology from military training. "Emma, you're a very brave girl. This scary situation, but now we're in safe area." Rachel had to do urgent check on Mike in the ambulance. Head trauma with vehicle impact carried serious complication risk. While returning to the ambulance, she did quick assessment of the driver in the sedan. Male in his 40s, leg entrapment but circulation intact. Pain level moderate, vital signs stable. "Sir, emergency teams will be here in 10 minutes. Leg fracture possible but no vascular compromise. I'll check my partner and come back." "Understood, nurse. I'll wait patiently. You take care of your friend first." Rachel entered the ambulance cabin. Mike, conscious but obvious concussion symptoms, confusion, nausea, dizziness, memory gaps. "Mike, what day is today?" Wednesday? My head hurts so much. What happened to us?" "Vehicular accident. You took head impact. I'll do neurological assessment." Rachel began systematic neurological evaluation. Pupil response, equal, reactive. Glasgow Coma Scale, 14 out of 15, confusion component. Balance test, significant impairment. "Mike, you're not operational status. I'll take scene command. You'll stay in arrest mode in the ambulance." Mike tried to protest. "Rachel, I can work. Team effort needed." "Negative. Head trauma protocol. No operational duty. You're in patient status now." Rachel applied cold compress to Mike, cervical collar positioning, set up vital signs monitoring. IV access established, normal saline at keep open rate. "Mike, you'll stay in recovery position. When emergency backup arrives, they'll evaluate you too." Rachel returned to the sedan. She checked trapped driver's condition deterioration. Pain increased but still stable. Leg positioning optimal, blood flow maintained. "Sir, how do you feel?" "A bit more pain, but I can handle it. You help other people." "Perfect attitude, sir. Few more minutes backup arrival." Rachel connected to emergency dispatch via radio. "Dispatch, this is Rachel Smith, ambulance 47, Interstate 95 mile marker 34, multiple vehicle accident, 6 cars, 12 victims, need immediate backup." "Copy, Rachel. ETA 15 minutes, road conditions deteriorating." 15 minutes too long, Rachel thought. Mountain medic training, limited resources, multiple casualties, extreme conditions. Rachel began systematic care for all injured, priority triage, hypothermia prevention, vital signs monitoring. She distributed all emergency blankets from the ambulance, set up portable heating units, activated emergency lighting. Weather conditions were getting worse. Snow began falling, wind increasing. Rachel's Mountain Division training kicked in, cold weather survival protocols. Everyone stay inside vehicles, body heat conservation. She set up emergency shelter for the elderly couple, made wind barrier with tarp from ambulance, group warming technique for family and SUV, shared body heat by wrapping mother and children together. "How long will this last?" asked the sedan driver. "Back up 10 minutes, said Rachel. "We'll make it." 18 minutes later, the first fire truck arrived, followed by 2 ambulances. Fire Captain Morrison looked at the scene and was surprised. "Ma'am, this organization looks like professional disaster response." Rachel summarized the situation. 12 victims, 3 priority classifications, hypothermia prevention implemented, all vitals stable. "Are you an ambulance nurse? This level of coordination?" Rachel hesitated. It was time to tell the truth she had hidden for 3 years. Military background, 10th Mountain Division, cold weather operations specialist, 8 years active duty. Captain Morrison's expression changed. "Mountain Division? That explains everything." At Denver General Hospital, 12 injured were under treatment. Rachel wanted to check each one. The elderly couple had survived the heart attack but were stable. The family in the SUV was healthy thanks to hypothermia prevention. Other injured were also fine. "Nurse Rachel," said the little girl from the SUV, "are you a real hero?" Rachel sat next to the child. "No, sweetheart, I just did my job. The real hero is you. You were very brave." "When I grow up, I want to be like you," said the girl. "Then you have to work very hard, but first get well, okay?" Dr. Williams, the hospital emergency director, wanted to talk with Rachel. "Ma'am, without your intervention, we would have seen hypothermia complications. This is professional cold weather response level." "Thank you, doctor. I just used my training." "What training gives such skills?" "EMS training doesn't teach hypothermia management at this level." Rachel hesitated, then told the truth. 8 years 10th Mountain Division. Cold weather operations specialist. Dr. Williams was amazed. You're a real mountain warfare veteran." Rachel's story isn't just about heroism, it's about the evolution of service spirit, the peaceful application of warrior skills. From 10th Mountain Division to ambulance nursing, from cold weather operations to emergency response, from tactical response to healing touch, always serving. The Army taught fighting. Emergency medicine taught healing. The community taught that both skills are valuable. Icy road survivors say this when they see Rachel. Real warriors don't stop fighting. They find new battles worth fighting. Rachel's courage that day was the civilian application of 10th Mountain Division training, military expertise applied in emergency response. "I'm no longer a soldier, but the warrior spirit never ends. Service continues. Mission changes." So I ask you, do you know veterans quietly serving in your emergency response community? Hidden military backgrounds silently contributing to civilian emergency services? Share your experiences in the comments, because at Hidden Legends, we believe the greatest protectors often serve in the most critical community moments. If this story moved you, share it, subscribe, and to help these important veteran stories continue. See you in the next legend. And remember, in the next winter emergency, ambulance call, rescue operation, you might encounter military backgrounds you're unaware of. Real heroes transform their forms of service, but life-saving commitment is eternal.